And now, our feature presentation.
To infinity and beyond!
My name's Bond. James Bond.
That'll do, pig.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Sorry with the box, who's in the box?
Damn! Ew, get off of me! Ugh,
A lot of people go to college for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
Houston, we have a problem.
1995, we have a problem. That problem is...
I'm the problem.
All right, Taylor, get out of here. Welcome in, everybody, to 52/1995, your live movie conversation podcast that I was informed that my mother does know about. She still has not found it. That's hopefully going to stay the same as we continue to go through this podcast. Yeah, we are in our third year of this podcast, and we're doing 1995. I'm your host, Cody. I'm thrilled to be joined this week by my favorite, maybe I shouldn't have said favorite, co-host, Alyssa.
It's also not true.
That's not true. That's so not true.
All of your friends, all of your co-hosts are your favorite. I don't think you can't pick between your children.
That's true. I feel like
They're
I just
all
heard.
your favorite.
I feel like I just hurt a lot of feelings. You're right. I'm a bad person. I apologize. You're my favorite.
Okay.
Let's be real. For those tuning in for the first time, we're glad that you are here every week. 52 weeks to be exact. We explore a different film from 1995. It could be a classic hit. It could be a quirky gem. It could be somewhere, most likely lying somewhere in the middle where people either love it or they hate it or they don't. It's whatever, But what we do here is we dive into this year's important releases. We discuss them in detail. And then I ask my guest if they've seen anything recently that they really want to talk about, or if they've, listened to anything or read anything, or there's a lot of stuff that I ask about that, what's going on in their lives, but we do this on a theme basis, but month by month. And our current theme, because this is, we just had Valentine's Day, our month is a theme of love, romance, comedy, heart-shaped things. But our current theme is You Love Me, You Really Love Me, where the movies that we're talking about are all romances. Today's movie of choice is While You Were Sleeping. But before we jump into this week's movie, let's welcome Alyssa. Alyssa, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Have you seen this movie that we're discussing today?
I have not. It's shocking, I know. I've seen very few movies in our lineup, but I am a big rom-com fan. You'd think that of the rom-coms I'd seen, this would have been one of them, but nope. It falls more into the just haven't seen it category than the I needed to watch it rom-com category.
All right, first impressions, or what drew you, because you had a list. I put out a list to all the people that do this. What drew you to want to watch this film?
It's a classic rom-com. It's one that I've heard the title. I always got While You Were Sleeping and Sleepless in Seattle mixed up.
That's crazy. I used to get this movie mixed up too, but
just because of the titles,
not because of the sleeping thing.
Oh, what? Why?
With a movie we did last year, It Could Happen to You. I used to get these movies confused all the time. Don't know why.
I said we did Sleepless in Seattle last year too. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Was it 2 years? No, I think it was last year. I think it was 94.
I think it was 94.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did that one last year, and I was like, oh, hey, here's the other one that I used to get it mixed up with. So I wanted to watch them back to back. Again, big rom-com fan. Also big Sandra Bullock fan. Love me some Sandy B. So I also think she does the rom-com very well. So I wanted to see, was she any different in this movie? How was she in this movie? That's why I really wanted to watch it.
Yeah. Do you think this movie could be made today?
Yes, I do. I do think it could be made today. I did in this. I'm going way ahead here with a fun fact, but the original script was gender swapped, so that it was a woman in a coma and a man was who saved her and pretended to be the fiance, and producers were like, that is predatory, we cannot do this, so they swapped the genders. And I was like, yes, that it makes so much more sense, it makes it so much more fun. I do think that we can do it again to like today. I do think there might be some plot holes, like social media, being like, he's never posted you on social media before, and it's like he doesn't have an Instagram, like, I don't know, something stupid like that. But I think you could. I think it's fun, it's cute. And I'll talk about some when we talk about our pairing, or when our recasts, once we get there, some ideas I have for the movie.
I went really hard on my recasts.
Yeah, oh,
like crazy hard.
I'm really glad, because I didn't.
Oh, that's okay. That's quite all right here. Okay, great. Well, I just wanted to get the vibe from you, because if you don't know, we watch these movies together, and I can't like immediately turn to her like I normally would and be like, so what'd you think? And like, tell me all about it, because we knew we were discussing it today. So I've been, we do it
for you. We don't discuss movies for all of you watching.
We save that sweet, sweet conversation so that everybody can hear it here. But let's go ahead and get into it, break it down. Let me give you the stats around this movie and all the little demographic data that we've got here. Sound like I'm working. But this movie is called While You Were Sleeping. Even though it comes off as a Christmas movie, it was released April 21st, 1995. It was directed by Jon Turteltaub, who we've seen before here on the pod. We actually did one of his movies in 1993, which was Cool Runnings. He's also famous for movies like Three Ninjas, or Phenomenon, or the National Treasure movies, or I know somebody in this chat's favorite, The Meg, about the giant shark.
Oh, like the Megalodon, like,
yeah, with Jason Statham. So yeah, he is a studio director, I think, and he does like to work with Nicolas Cage. I noticed there's a few movies besides National Treasure. He's got a couple more that are Nicolas Cage movies. So he's got a type. This was written by Daniel G. Sullivan and Frederick LeBeau. I couldn't find any other things that they had written, so this was kind of their one and done, unfortunately. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about this cast. We've got Sandra Bullock as Lucy Eleanor Mataratz, which is a name. Bill Pullman as Jack Callahan. Peter Gallagher as Peter Callahan. Peter Boyle as Ox Callahan. There's a lot of Peters and Callahans and Gallaghers and so much going on here. Glynis Johns as Elsie. Nicole Mercurio as Midge. Jack Warden as Saul. Michael Rispoli as Joe Fusco Jr., Ali Walker as Ashley Bartlett Bacon, and Monica Keena as Mary Callahan. So those are some of the bigger names that we have here. And the synopsis that I pulled from Google and have not read yet, just paste it. So this could be completely wrong. I love doing this. Lonely transit worker Lucy Eleanor Mataratz pulls her longtime crush Peter from the path of an oncoming train. At the hospital, doctors report that he's in a coma. And a misplaced comment from Lucy causes Peter's family to assume that she is the fiancée. When Lucy doesn't correct them, they take her into their home and confidence. Things get more complicated when she finds herself falling for Peter's sheepish brother, Jack.
Sheepish is a weird word.
I agree. This movie had a budget of $17 million. And just like the movie previously, The Bridges of Madison County, it pulled in $182 million. This is the number 14 movie of the year. So, I mean, in Bridges of Madison County, they're like right there, So, romance was in, comedies were in the 90s. I love to see it. This movie has a Rotten Tomatoes rating of 81%, IMDb of 6.8, Letterboxd of 3.5. So Rotten Tomatoes are very strong. So I found a lot of positive reviews. But our good old friend Roger Ebert said, it's a feel-good film, warm and good-hearted. And as it was heading for its happy ending, I was still a little astonished how much I was enjoying it. He gave it 3 out of 4 stars.
I like that.
Yeah, and then we've got Kevin McManus from the Washington Post, who did not like it that much. He said, Sandra Bullock, last seen hurtling towards stardom and speed, decelerates in While You Were Sleeping. A wobbly romantic comedy. Sleeping plays its romantic elements just right, but badly botches the comedy.
Interesting.
Soak that in. All right. And The Legacy, there's no, Academy Award nominations for this movie, but Sandra Bullock was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy. So kind of impressive for a movie like this to get a nomination, even a Golden Globe, where these types of things, are nominated. So it's nice to see Sandra get some flowers for doing really good work, I think.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a great movie. So now that we've broken that down, let's talk about the movie. Let's get into the scenes that really stick out to you. So what are some scenes that made it pretty memorable?
The first scene I have is meeting the family at the hospital, because that's when the plot thickens. It's okay, this is where we're going with this.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I was like, oh, I've got to put the scene in where she saves his life, but then I was like, nah, I'm good. I had it down, but I was like, the hospital is the first big scene there.
I mean, you can mention the reason that they're in the hospital is because he gets mugged. They take his jacket. He falls on they push him off. The muggers push him off. He falls on the track. Sandra Bullock saves his life. So that's why they're in the hospital. She is there waiting. She is there with him. She has a huge crush on him. She only has ever seen him because that he gives a token every time he has to take the train. So she's never really spoken to him, but she's like, he's hot. So that's pretty much it. And while she's at the hospital, she is there and the whole family comes in. And yeah, like I said, because of a passing comment made by a nurse, or she under her breath, she was like, oh, I was supposed to marry him. And a nurse which is a crazy thing to say out loud, about a man that you just never spoken to before. And her nurse hears that and goes, must be his fiance. You're allowed to go into the waiting room. And all the family comes in.
Yeah, she's obviously seen this lady coming in and being denied to go back there to see this man that she's never met. You think that Sandra Bullock would have said, oh, I'm his fiance, if she was truly his fiance. So this nurse takes it in there.
I think the doctor really cuts her off.
Yeah.
Also, Sandra Bullock is spineless in this movie. I will say, I'm watching this movie. We'll get into it later, but she goes, but, and every time she is cut off so quickly. And then the nurse makes an assumption. She's like, I'll let you back in. But she never says out loud until way later when the family is there, isn't this his fiance? And again, everybody cuts her off so fast. I mean, that's part of the comedy gold of it, is that it really is. I would agree. I don't really agree with that negative review, but this is more romantic than comedy. There are a lot of funny elements in this movie, that the twists and turns of a silly, happenstance type of comedy. There's these events happened and I just kind of went along with them, and that's how we get, and the lie just kind of snowballs out of control. But yeah, she gets cut off a lot, so she's just but and she can't say, I'm not this man's fiance, and the family immediately falls in love with her because this man has horrific taste in women, and they're like, here's a normal one, we like her.
Her name isn't like breakfast food.
Bacon.
Yeah. No, it is very quickly. It reminds you of those old school rom-coms. We just watched one not too long ago. Bringing Up Baby is a great one to think about, where this guy is just trying to escape this woman and she just keeps pulling him back in. It's that same type of comedy, except the comedy that we're dealing with here is the spineless Sandra Bullock character who just can't correct anybody and doesn't want to cause a heart attack to the grandmother.
Yeah, she's which again, she's like, oh yeah, the grandma has heart problems, so don't say anything too sideways. And she's just like, I can't kill this woman. Just the spiral. I mean, I'm sure too, she did just save a man's life, almost dying herself by like pulling him off the tracks. I'm sure her adrenaline's running. Like if I go far too deep into it with the psychology of the situation, I'm like, her brain isn't even attached to her body in this moment.
And she's getting a little bit too. You know, we learn throughout the movie, you know, it opens with the narration from her that I don't really love, but you get that narration that tells you that her mom passed away when she was really young. Her dad, we find out, passed away a couple years ago. So Lucy's lonely, and not only is she now connected to this man that she is infatuated with family, but they accept her so quickly, and they make her feel like she is a daughter and a sister and a fiance to this man, and it makes her feel good. And it is kind of harmless. I think Saul tells her, it's pretty harmless. You're not being malicious about it. So,
right. And she had there's no ill intent here. And you get a sense too that Peter's not that he's not a great guy, but like Peter is maybe a little estranged from his family. You know, he's rich, he's a lawyer, he maybe thinks more highly of himself. And this Lucy comes in, and this family feels like they've got their Peter back. They're like, here's a girl who's normal, more like us, not this rich, fancy person that he, like Ashley Bacon, who he used to date, who he's supposedly maybe engaged to. Like they're like, maybe we've got him back. So there's a mutual benefit to this strange relationship.
It's really sweet. It is. And I think it pulls that sweetness into, I think, my next big scene. What is your next big scene?
Christmas with the family / meeting Jack.
Yeah. That's the next thing. And that's where I was we transition into that. She's already, freaking out in her brain the whole time. I don't think there's a moment in this movie where Sandra Bullock's brain is not panicked about anything. But we see her have that conversation with Saul, who I think early on I was a little confused what Saul's role was in this. And then you find out he's the godfather and he's the next door neighbor. And he loves that family just as much as she is now falling in love with that family too. And he knows because he overheard her at the hospital, which we weren't sure about for a couple minutes.
I'm like, did he hear her? I think he heard her.
I think he heard her.
He did.
So he knows what's up, but he also doesn't want to break their heart too.
They are both people pleasing, like can't harm a fly, even if the fly is evil, kind of like he's just like, let me just skirt around this and pretend I know nothing and it'll be fine.
Yeah, and hey, maybe he won't wake up, and then you just have a family forever.
Exactly, which is crazy.
I mean, he is a putz.
A putz.
Peter's a putz. Christmas is really good. Again, we see Lucy not really denying anything, but also kind of just admiring the fact that she has a family now, and that this family is very sweet, and she doesn't even know anything about Peter, but just being around his family, I think she's like, oh great, this is a great situation. Like Peter's probably better than I could have even imagined.
Right. I mean, and then like you see even like there's like such small moments, like the daughter getting a pair of earrings and being allowed to go get her ears pierced, and like how excited she is about that. And even Sandra Bullock even Lucy gets a gift, and she's like, I've known y'all for 24 hours. Like they went out of their way to get her a gift.
Do we ever find out what that gift is?
Yes, it's in my fun facts.
Oh, okay.
It's not in the movie. It's in my fun facts.
I didn't think about that until just now. I was like, I don't remember what it was. Okay.
You will giggle when you find out what it is.
Oh, great. And then we also get introduced to Jack, who comes in Christmas morning, or not Christmas morning, because this isn't even Christmas.
It's like the 26th, 27th.
Yeah.
The 27th morning.
And Jack, played by Bill Pullman, comes in, and the sister's like, don't wake Lucy, and he's like, I don't know who this person is. Like
immediately suspect.
Yeah, he's like, Peter's never talked about her before, but again, it doesn't seem like Peter comes around very much, so it's interesting. But we get introduced to Bill Pullman, and he seems like I don't know how to describe this type of man in movies. But if I were to describe my man crush in movies, it's this Bill Pullman character type.
A guy who does woodworking.
Maybe. I think it is. I have
I
a
think
type.
I think you should take up woodworking.
Oh. Then
I
I'm
think-
just
I think you want to just take up woodworking. I think you just want to try it.
I mean, I would love to take up woodworking, but
We'll call your uncle.
that's true. I could just call him and get that started. No, this is like, I love women, but then if there is a man in the in the movie that is like this character, when we get to our pairings, you're gonna be like, "Yep, this all adds up."
This all adds up.
All these characters right here add up. It's
Mhm.
I have a type, so
Hilarious.
it's he's great. I love Bill Pullman in this.
Mhm. I know him from Casper and from Newsies.
Oh yes, I forgot about Newsies. Independence Day. I know. I don't think you've ever seen it, probably, but
Mm-mm.
he's the president in that movie.
Oh, okay. Isn't he also someone's love interest in a different movie? Like he's like the husband or the fiance that nobody likes.
Yeah, Sleepless in Seattle.
Thank you.
He's got he's super nice. He's not a
okay.
bad guy at all. He has the allergies and
Yeah, he's just a lame.
yeah, he's just a lame. He's just a poor little lame. Oh yes, he is in A League of Their Own. He's
Oh.
Dottie's husband
Oh, okay.
that we find out about at the end. Bill Pullman's not somebody's type. That's okay.
They're wrong.
That's okay. They are wrong. You
They're
are
just
wrong.
incorrect.
That's okay. What's the next scene that you have?
I have accidentally going on a date with Jack and walking around Chicago.
Is that when they deliver the furniture?
Yes.
And then
And
he
that's-
gets pulled in, like he gets backed in, like, or blocked in on and that's why they have to walk around. I'm just trying to
Yes.
remember. Okay.
Yes. Do you have a different scene?
No, that was exactly I just put delivering the furniture because I think it's really
Yes.
cute.
It like he says, hey, we gotta, my parents want to give you an engagement present. And it's this vintage couch. And he's like, let's deliver it. And she's like, let's take it to Peter's apartment, not mine. And the shenanigans, basically chipping like the frame of the door and spilling shit all over the carpet and covering up with the couch. And then Jack's character's truck gets blocked in, so they have to walk around the city, and they're walking and talking and getting to know each other. And you can see there's like a little flirtation situation happening. I'm like, oh, do these two like each other? That's fun. And he walks her back to her home. He's like, for safety. And she's like, I don't need protection. He goes, no, it's for me. Like, it's very cute. And then you see the accidental chemistry happening.
Mm-hmm. It was very reminiscent of when we moved in to our apartment or our home.
When our couch got stuck in the doorway, and broke off the doorway frame. The exact
and they
same
said, just
places.
push it. And then we get a hole in our wall. And I was like, no. Question for you though, or to anybody out there. Why did people put that blue water in plants?
I don't know. I feel like it was just for looks.
Just for looks? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a look, a vibe. Kind of in the way that you would put like a scarf over a lampshade. That's all I got.
I was just like, you have white carpet, like your entire apartment is white. Like, don't.
Why?
Don't
do
you
that.
you have a cat there now? Like that you have to take care of?
She goes, oh look, Fluffy.
Fluffy.
So it's Fluffy.
Yeah, Peter's not thinking. He's not really too cheap to buy a blue vase. I guess
That's it.
Blue water's cheaper, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and the chat too says they eat shit on the ice, and they do, and that's where you see again they're like falling into each other, trying to hoist each other up. There are a lot of near misses with kissing, and it's very silly, but also like, are they gonna kiss?
A lot of leaning in this.
A lot of leaning.
A lot of leans. Next scene.
The New Year's Eve party.
Party. Okay.
Because this is where Jack and Lucy get into a tiff.
Oh yeah, their first fight.
Their first fight, and where Jack is basically like, I don't see why Peter would choose you. and he means it in a way, not, I don't think he means it in a negative way, because obviously he really likes her, but he's like, you are not Peter's type. You're too good for him, essentially. And Lucy also reveals how lonely she is, and she's just kind of like buzz off. Like they basically have a tiff. And there again, there's more nonsense where he thinks that she's pregnant. She's not pregnant, obviously, because she is not actually engaged to this man. So a little more, and then just a little more nonsense around that. But they have a fight, which kind of, again, I really liked Sandra Bullock in that moment where she's like, I'm not going to be alone anymore. And like, she's like, I'm going to marry your brother, and that's it. And
he's mean in this moment.
Yeah, it's not super kind. I'm not justifying it, but he's also hurt. He wants her, and he can't have her, and he doesn't know how to deal with that emotion, so he just is rude.
Yes, he says something that I was like, oh man, why would you say that? Like about her family, my God.
Yeah, he's like, do you think your dad would be proud of you if you were just sitting in a token booth and not traveling anywhere? And he's like, you think he's proud of you? And she goes, no, I don't think he is. And then like, it's just, you just see how hurt she is. And I'm like, that was a low blow.
It was super, she had a good response to something he said by, God, I wish I would have written it down, but she responds like basically that your family doesn't even, you can't stand your frame, or you can't stand to tell the truth to your family, or something like that. It was a good response.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they have pretty good chemistry?
I did, because there are some times, and there's like a lot of times I watch a rom-com and I'm like, these two do not like each other, or they don't have chemistry, or maybe it's on one end. Like I was like, maybe I'm gonna see Sandra Bullock, and Sandra Bullock definitely likes this guy, but is Bill Pullman going to come through? And I really feel like he did. Like, I can tell, like, oh, he kind of likes her. Like, sometimes it's one-sided, sometimes it's no-sided. I think they both acted like they liked each other.
Yeah, I thought they had pretty good chemistry. I liked them together. And maybe it's I think I'm gonna attribute this to Sandra Bullock. I think she is just so good. Feeding off of another person. We saw her last year in Speed. I think she does really well with Keanu.
Wild, insane role in movie, but they do well.
In any of the other movies that we see her in the future, I don't want to say any just to ruin maybe some of our pairings for later, but like even in Miss Congeniality stuff, like she's got great chemistry, not only with the other agent, I guess, but she has great chemistry within those girls that are in the pageant too. And same thing in like a movie like The Heat, where her and Melissa McCarthy are feeding off each other. She's so good when it's like a duo. Not that she can't carry a movie by herself, because she practically does in a movie like Gravity, where she's like the only person in it, but she is so good with other people. It's great. She's great. She's wonderful.
We're big fans.
Yeah, big fan. I love Sandra Bullock. All right, what's your next scene?
This is my last scene. So I have the wedding to Peter with the big reveal.
I had wedding, but I also had Peter waking up was like a big deal too, because that's like the moment when it's all like she's been communicating with Saul the whole time, like, you've got to tell them, like, please tell them. And then Peter wakes up and he doesn't tell them, and they just have to go down this path of just moving forward with the wedding and making up amnesia and making Peter realize that he's got a second chance at life to not be a douchebag. And he just accepts it. He's just like, yeah, sure. Lucy's great.
Yeah,
that's what I've been told.
Least believable part of this entire thing is that he is just not a jerk or decides that he's not going to live the life he's led his entire life when he wakes up. I mean, yeah, granted, he does get a second chance at life, like, and he's probably like, if you wake up and you are told, hey, this woman is your fiance, so in theory she loves you, and she just saved your life, he's like she's the reason you're not dead right now. That would certainly put things into perspective. But like, this guy's a douchebag, and he's been a douchebag the whole 35 years he's been on the planet. So kind of hard to like wake up and be like, yes, this is going to fix it. Like, marrying her is going to fix everything.
They do a really good job. Not only is Peter Gallagher like good in this moment. Like, I think he's very good in a comic way. But like, even prior to this, while he was in a coma, they do a really good job of establishing Peter Gallagher without ever having him speak a line. And then, like, he has pictures of himself everywhere. You
Yeah.
get the
In
message,
his wallet.
his answering machine with the chow at the end,
Chow.
like, just such a douchebag. And the man
Mhm.
never even speaks a line. It's really great.
Yeah.
So they did a really good job with that. It's good script. It tells you they did pretty well with that. But yeah,
I agree.
I had the Peter waking up and like all that stuff, but then the wedding was the next thing that I had.
Yes. Yes. Because, and again, why did it have to be immediately? Like the fact that he's like, will you marry me? And like the wedding is 2 days later at the hospital. I'm like, he's not gonna die. he's gonna make a full recovery. We can plan a wedding. Like
Get to know each other, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
Who
That
knows?
was- yeah, who knows? So yes, they have the wedding in the prayer room at the hospital, and immediately Sandra Bullock objects. The priest is like, "Dearly beloved," and she goes, "I object," and he's like, "I didn't even get to that part yet."
And I love it. I object, and then Jack is like, "I object too," and then Peter's like, "I don't know what's going on," but I guess.
Yeah, he's like, oh, she's like, "I'm in love with your son," and they're like, "Yeah, that's why we're here." She goes, "No, the other son."
It's a great comedy moment. It's kind of reminiscent of the movie we just watched with Moonstruck. Like everybody comes together at the house, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a great scene. But you're in love with me when the dad says
Yeah.
that factor. He's like, well, no, but yes, like I'm in love with you and your family. No, Sandra Bullock's great in this scene too. It's very cute and like, I don't know. Keep going. Yeah,
Oh no, it's on, like, she finally does the right thing. She finally confesses to the situation, deeply apologizes, and leaves. Also, Peter's ex-fiance-ish shows up, and she's like, "I object," and then her husband comes in. He goes, "I object to the objection," and the family gets pissed, and they're like, "Why would you propose to a married woman?" And Sandra Bullock conveniently makes her way out of the room. And in shame, and then it cuts to the end where she's back at work. It's the last day of work because she decides time for me to explore the world and live my life. And the whole family shows up to propose to her.
I love that little.
It is so cute.
I love the engagement ring and the token thing. That was
Mhm.
super cute.
And he's like, "Can I come back there?" And she's like, "I can't let you back here without a token." And I'm like, I love this. And the whole family's just like, it gave me my big fat Greek wedding vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the entire family is very involved in everything.
Without having to ruin any of my future things, but yes, I agree with you on that.
Very cute.
Yeah, so ending scene was my last thing at the token station. I really
Yeah.
love that. I think that's cute. I think it's quintessential rom-com, big moment.
They say the title of the movie. It's like,
Mhm.
Peter says, "When did you fall in love with my brother?" And I said, "While you were sleeping." And I was like, yeah.
They said it. They said the movie.
I'm like, they said the title.
Weird that they get married and then they go off on the train.
It's part of her life.
I get that.
It's cute.
It is cute, but I'm like, it would have been cuter if they had met that way, her and him.
That's true. Yeah, I guess Bill Pullman never took the train.
Yeah, he's never taken a train in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. That's this movie.
That's it.
It's pretty. I mean, I think hour and 40 minutes runtime. Hour and 44 minutes runtime. Pretty tight. You can see that there are some areas where they probably cut something, and I'm okay with them cutting things.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be any longer.
No, definitely not. So I thought it was kind of a perfect length and everything. But let's talk about our favorite characters, or if there's a scene stealer in this movie.
I liked Sal and Elsie, who are our two elderly characters. Sal was funny, like, and just kind of like giving his bits of wisdom, but also giving his little quips, like, "You're a putz." he added some flavor that was needed to the show. And then Elsie is the grandma who is constantly wearing giant bows, has a weird British-ish accent for some reason. And for some reason, nobody knows. No one, that is not explained. And then she just has these little, like, she is the comic relief. She doesn't seem very much older than her daughter, or her, I don't know if it's her son or daughter, of Ox and the mom. But yeah, just gives out these little side remarks just randomly. And she's also the one with the heart condition, so they don't want, but they were my scene stealers. I liked both of them. They made me giggle.
Yeah. Elsie is pretty great. Her name's Glynis Johns. She was in Mary Poppins. She's Mrs. Banks in Mary Poppins, most famously. Yeah, that's what we know her from. We saw her in The Ref last year. When we were in, I think that was August of last year. But Mary Poppins is probably her biggest, or the thing that we know her most from. She sadly passed away last year. But I think she was almost 100. No, she was 101.
Wow,
actually.
Good for her.
Yeah. So just passed away last year. She was great in this. I said my favorite character is Lucy. Obviously, I think Sandra Bullock's great, and the Lucy character is great. Joe Jr., I agree with Chat, is my scene stealer of this movie.
Insane.
I think he's so funny.
He's so funny.
And like creepy, but also like in a very sweet way.
Yeah, he likes her. He's trying to. He wants to date her. He doesn't want to just like mess around with Sandra Bullock. He wants to like love her. He's
adorable, and then he even comes to her for comfort when the floor 3 girl did not like him and broke his heart. Joe Jr. is so good.
He's like, I know you've been through a breakup. Don't just start eating cookies and cakes and stuff. You know, it'll make you blow up, and you don't want to do that. And she goes, thank you for that, that wisdom. How's it going with the floor 3 girl? And he just bursts into tears and like comes into her apartment. He goes, do you have any cookies?
Oh, poor Joe Jr. He's so sweet.
It was cute. I will give him that.
And he loves wearing women's shoes. So
weird side plot.
Joe Jr. forever is.
He's a feet guy.
Or, I mean, maybe he just likes to dress up.
He's a feet guy.
He's a feet guy. He loves a pump. He loves a sensible heel. I love Joe Jr. so much. Favorite quotes from this movie? Any memorable lines that stand out to you?
Yes. Oh, where's my... Hold on. I have quite... Okay. So, my favorite is Lucy says, if you fit into my pants, I will kill myself. Was it Bill Pullman?
Yes.
Yeah, talking to Jack. If you fit into my pants, I will kill myself. It's just, and then they move on.
It makes me want, like, she delivers it so well. I'm like, is that in the script, or is that an improv line? I wish I knew. Couldn't find anything about that, but it just fits so well, and I feel like that's just a great line. If you fit into my pants, I'll kill myself. Is very 2025 coded.
Yes. Do you want to go back and forth?
Yeah, sure. I have you suck from Jack, and Peter says, I suck or the outfit sucks. And Jack just says it's a toss up.
I had that one too.
Yeah.
I've got one from Elsie. Elsie says, I like mass better in Latin. It's nicer when you don't know what they're saying.
Like a true Catholic.
Like a true Catholic.
I have one from Elsie as well, where she says, I don't drink anymore, but I don't drink any less either.
I have another Elsie one from Them in the Church. How did Joe Kelly get to be a lector? He takes marijuana.
He takes marijuana is classic.
She's so cute.
Lucy, I think Jack asks Lucy about her dad, and Lucy responds with, he's a lot like me, brown hair, flat chest.
Oh, I missed that line. That's very funny.
It's so good.
That's very funny.
Brown hair, flat chest.
I love that.
Yeah. What else you got? I've only got one more.
Oh, I've got 2 more. Jerry is Lucy's boss. And he knows about everything in the situation. She's trying to get, and they go back and forth about this thing. And she's like, I don't know what to do. And he says, pull the plug on Peter. And she goes, "You're sick." And Jerry says, "I'm sick. You're cheating on a vegetable."
I have one from Saul. He says, "You need good beef. Argentina has great beef. Beef and Nazis." We have a good one in the chat here. When they find out that Peter has one testicle, Elsie replies with, "He has more room in his jockey shorts now."
Love Elsie.
She's unhinged.
I've got one more, and it's from Jack describing Lucy. When Peter's trying to like figure out, it's like, there's something about her. And Jack goes, "I'd say that she gets under your skin as soon as you meet her. She drives you nuts. You don't know whether to hug her or to just really arm wrestle her. She would go all the way to Europe just to get a stamp in her passport. I don't know if that amounts to insanity or just being really, really likable."
Yeah, I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah, and Peter just goes, "That's not it."
That's not it. Mm-mm.
I was like, oh, that's like a really, like, I was like, you just know this man likes her a lot.
Yeah. It's very, I mean, that is the kind of thing that Cary Grant would say about Katharine Hepburn in the movies that, Philadelphia Story, or like, I just want to wring her neck because I love her so much. And I don't know any other way but violence is the only way to say that. Like, it's very reminiscent of that too. Any other lines that we might have missed?
That was the last one I had.
We have another one who this guy did. He was a highlight for me. He comes up as one of my biggest laugh moments in this movie. And it is the dude in the hospital room that Peter's in. And he says, "Holy buckets, Peter, moving on to greener pastures." That dude needed more love too. I agree with you. He was just popcorn. Great. He was just watching it like it was a soap opera. I loved him. And
he needed more drama in his life.
Yes, he did. And I love that he was a part of their wedding too.
Yes. He was there.
It was almost like he was a groomsman at his wedding, that, Peter has this newfound look on life. And he's like, "Yeah, this guy I shared a room with. Let's get him in here.
Besties."
Speaking of biggest laughs, cries, scares, thrill, what moments pack the biggest emotional punch for you?
I only had a laugh, and it was just Joe Jr. in general, but specifically trying on her shoes.
Yes.
Like him like falling in the closet. He has her like heel pushed, and then like it's so much smaller than his foot. And she's like, "Were you trying to try on my shoes?" And he's like,
Didn't he say like, "Oh, I fell and my foot went in the shoe"? I don't know.
He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I put any time that Joe Jr. was on screen, that is a plus for me.
Laugh.
A laugh for me. That he's amazing. You got cheap laughs with Joe Jr. His butt crack hanging out, his very small T-shirt that he's wearing. You get the easy laughs. But he delivers some really good lines. The squirrel story made me laugh.
Everybody's like, "I hit them with a rock out of their nest first.
And then I saved them."
And then I saved them. He was like, "Don't say it."
Yeah. And then big cry moment. The only time that I like protruded my lip out was when I saw Elsie with those giant tears in her eyes.
Oh my God.
At the wedding. I was just like,
crocodile tears.
Oh my God. Elsie, those are the biggest tears I've ever seen in my life. Hold on, girl. Hold on. But yeah, that was my only like sad man. And I don't know. When he says that line, when Jack says that line to her about her family, and she comes back, that was a gut punch. I was just like, don't do that, man. You like her. Also, when she says, "Give me or is there any reason that I shouldn't marry your brother?" And he just says, "No."
Yeah, what is he gonna do? I mean, like, I get it, but like, you want him to be like, "Don't marry him, marry me instead." But it's like, that's his brother.
Yeah. And we'll get to that. Our backs 99. We'll talk about that in a second. And when I get to the fun facts, most, what the fuck ridiculous moments of the movie.
I just put the entire plot. Like Sandra Bullock Lucy's character just not being able to get this situation under control. Now, I will say I would have done the exact same thing. There are multiple. I am spineless. There are multiple times in this movie where she had the opportunity to say, "Actually, I'm not his fiance," or "Actually, hey, let me correct everybody real quick." She never does. And honestly, I was like, same. Like, I am too much of a pushover, of a people pleaser to be like, "Hey."
Yeah, I mean, no, I think I would have said something really quickly, but I see it. I
I
understand.
see it. I felt. I was like, I see Lucy.
I would have like Nick Millard out of the room, you know, like it's exactly my reaction whenever I'm just surrounded by this family I don't know. It's just out of here. I'm out of here. No, I agree. The plot itself is, WTF
Silly.
all over the place.
Mhm.
I added in the nurse because what business is it yours to say anything to any of these people?
Mhm.
Also, the girl that was just like doesn't understand sarcasm and was ratted Lucy out to Lucy's, soon to be sister-in-law. Oh yeah, she's pregnant. I was like, you don't get sarcasm?
Yeah, it's like, oh God, that spiraled.
Yeah, that went quick too. That
Mhm.
that was intense. But I like she says go to Lucy's pregnant, and the dad of me is like, go to your room.
I'm out.
The answering machine of Jack or Peter's answering machine.
Ciao.
And then also all of the pictures of himself, specifically the
They were
pictures
like glamour
in his
shots.
wallet. In his
So-
wallet. Like he just has pictures of himself in his wallet. And I was like, I guess that's what you do when you don't have a family.
They are glamour shots too, like him in that thick turtleneck sweater. Just
It's very cute. Very cute. Anything else that we might have missed? Ridiculous stuff.
I don't think so.
All right. Best music moment for you or score.
I will always pick this song if it's in a movie. Opening with "This Will Be an Everlasting Love."
Yeah.
It is perfect rom-com song. It's in The Parent Trap. It is a perfect song. Love the song. So as soon as it opens and I heard it, I was like, yes, great, fantastic. There's the music moment.
This one's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a great movie.
No, that's exactly what I had too. It's the most memorable song I think in the movie. It is the very opening scene. This will be an everlasting love. I did catch like a Christmas in Chicago song, which I guess would be more important to me if I cared about Chicago any, but that was really the only thing that kind of stood out. But this will be an everlasting love, and mostly because of my shared love of The Parent Trap. I need to watch that soon. We need to watch that soon.
I'm in.
Okay, cool. All right, it's time for the part where we do an F, Marry, Kill. Put your FMKs in the chat. Oh, you were not ready for that.
I was not ready for this. I forgot.
And I'm gonna do one, and then I'm gonna switch out because I already know what your answer is gonna be. I'm gonna switch out somebody, but I'm gonna give you the first three that I came up with, which is Joe Jr., Peter, and Jack.
You killed Joe Jr.
Oh, you went. Never mind. I don't even have to introduce the other one.
Joe Jr. is insufferable.
I think he's so sweet.
He is sweet. I don't want to have relations with him, nor do I want to marry him. So he's immediate.
You get cheaper rent. His dad will probably knock $50 off the month rent.
If that's your journey, I love that for you.
Well, I thought you were going to say Peter immediately kill.
No, because if I had to pick, because I'm gonna marry Jack. I want homemade furniture for life. He's handsome. He's handy. He's like cool. I'm into Jack for marriage. But I have to pick who do I want to sleep with, and it has to be Peter.
Okay.
Even if he has one testicle.
Hey.
No judgment.
No judgment on the one balls guys out there, okay? They're performing just as well. Okay, let's swap out Joe Jr. then. Let's put Saul in there.
I do love Saul. But I think I
got her thinking.
So am I just knocking everybody? Am I marrying Saul?
I don't know.
I mean,
I think Saul, if I were Lucy, Saul's too much like me. He's just as spineless as me.
That's true.
Kill Ashley Bartlett Bacon. Absolutely. And her husband.
And her husband.
Mary, guy in the hospital room that with Peter. This is off the rails, but justice for Joe Jr.
He's all yours.
I think I'm in for a good time.
You're in for a time. He'll take you to the Ice Capades.
Ice Capades tickets. That's a hot button. That's a hot ticket item in the 90s.
I say he's all yours.
He's a sweetheart. We love him.
I'm getting a fancy dinner. I'm getting an expensive dinner for one night with Peter.
But Jack is the obvious Mary. Maybe I should have taken Jack out, and maybe I should do Joe Jr., Peter, and Saul.
Well, then I just marry Saul.
Okay.
Then it's obvious.
And then
to
you
me.
still kill Joe Jr. and
I still kill Joe Jr.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, I thought it was going to be Wade. I thought you were going to kill Peter so quickly.
I get it. If the options were Peter, Saul, and Jack, then yeah, Peter's got to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's not my type. If saying Chow is not my type.
Is it his eyebrows?
No, I don't mind the eyebrows.
Yeah,
They are.
Who's got better eyebrows, him or Eugene Levy?
Ooh. Eugene's are more animated. Eugene's serve a purpose.
Should I start coloring mine in?
You make them this color.
It's the darkest color imaginable. Yeah,
yeah,
I do
you gotta go, Eugene.
Yeah, I think his have gotten better too. Maybe.
Yes, he's gotten a trimmer.
Yes, and like he looks so much more handsome. In like Schitt's Creek, Eugene Levy is way better looking than American Pie Eugene Levy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Dan Levy's got Dan, his son, also has great eyebrows.
Yeah. Maybe he got some pointers.
Or genetics.
Just great genetics. You're right. All right. Who gave the best performance in this movie? We already know who it is, but who gave the best performance?
It's Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. She's incredible.
She's great.
She's great.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. And that's why we love her. And that's why she's such a good romantic comedy actress.
Mm-hmm.
And just a great actress altogether. So good for her. All right. Now comes the 1995-2025 recast. Who would you cast in the lead roles if this movie were made? Back then we could change some people out, or we can do a 2025 recast, or we can do both.
I have nothing for 95.
Okay, well then I'll start. Is this movie okay? This movie's great with Sandra Bullock. Could you see Julia Roberts or Marissa Tomei as Lucy?
Ooh, I can definitely see Julia Roberts, because she got the rom-com bit going on as well. But I like the Marissa Tomei. I really like the Marissa Tomei.
I went through a lot of actresses during that time, and like around Sandra Bullock's age range too, and because she was 30 when this movie came out. She's 30 years old. Julia Roberts is younger than Sandra Bullock. Did not know that.
Yeah, isn't Sandra Bullock 60?
She is 60, and Julia Roberts is 57 or 58. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But the Julia Roberts and Marissa Tomei were the only ones that I said could pull off making me feel or the realistic job of being a transit worker. Could pull off like that everyman kind of every woman. She's an every woman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
yes. I like it.
All right, for Jack. All right, I'm going to go through my list.
Okay.
These are all men that I find very attractive in this
95.
kind of way. 95. Keanu.
Of course.
He could do it. David Duchovny.
Who's that?
Oh, who's that? Mulder from X-Files? Californication? He could do it. He could do it. Jeff Daniels?
I don't know who that is either.
You do. You've seen Dumb and Dumber and Speed.
Oh, I guess.
You got to take him out. Take out the Dumb and Dumber
No, no.
role. Okay.
Well, I know we saw him in Speed. I'd like to me, he's like in my brain, he's like Uncle Joey. Like they look similar in my head. Like
yeah, I guess you could see that.
I'm not attracted to him. I think Bill Pullman's way more attractive than
slap on a what are those
Flannel.
shirts? A flannel. He's fine.
You're in.
All right, here's the perfect one. Or I've got two perfect ones, I think,
Okay.
in my mind. One is a TV actor that you probably don't know much or haven't heard. Tim Daly. You should look him up. Very attractive man. And my second, the most perfect, only replacement you could do for Bill Pullman is John Corbett, who is also a bit of a furniture maker himself. He was Aiden in Sex and the City.
Oh yes. We love him. Oh, I would. Oh, hands down, he would be a fantastic. He'd be a fantastic Jack.
John Corbett is everything to me.
I love him.
I hope to never meet that man in real life because then I'll be like, I love you, man.
Is that why? Is that why when I mentioned my big fat Greek wedding, you were like, "Well,
Well, yeah, absolutely.
mhm.
And then for Peter, I put Dylan McDermott or Dermot Mulroney because they're the same person.
Okay."
And they have great eyebrows, both of them. So, Paul Rudd, that's a great one for like. That's a great one. He would have been He would have been a little young at this time, but like
Mhm.
still, like if you catch him in that, like in 30, when he's in his mid 30s, he's a perfect Bill
Mhm.
Pullman-esque character.
Agreed.
2025 recast.
So I picked people that I have put in multiple things because
That's how I felt.
I was gonna say I'm very like I know who I like. For Lucy, my first thought was Ayo Edebiri.
Ooh, I didn't even think about her. That's a great one.
I think I put her in everything. I love her. I think she's hilarious, but she can also do the romantic comedy part, the romantic part. So Ayo was my first. Anna Kendrick was my second,
Mhm.
because I also put Anna Kendrick in everything, and I feel like Anna Kendrick could do what Sandra Bullock does.
Mhm.
Like I feel like they can be comparable. So those are my two. But Anna Kendrick is almost 40. Ayo is in her 20s. So neither of them are really in the correct age range, but we can make it work.
Yeah.
For Jack, I had Josh Hutcherson.
Okay. I get that.
I was thinking about him in Five Nights at Freddy's, like he's trying to make that comeback. I'm like, who could make furniture? And I was like, Josh Hutcherson looks like he could make furniture. And then the only other person I had was Ashley Bacon. And the only reason is because the second she walked on screen, I was like Brittany Snow,
Mhm.
or the girl who plays Petra in Jane the Virgin.
Jane the Virgin, yeah.
Yes, those two people immediately came to my brain.
That's pretty good.
So those are again, I don't really love my picks. I felt like I was reaching a little bit because sometimes I come in, I'm like, I have a great recast, and today is not that day.
Yeah, I felt this way, especially about my Lucy picks. I feel like I put these women in every movie, especially when there's like a Sandra Bullock type role where they are a little bit like have to be a little bit scattered, a little bit like spineless, and do that. So Margaret Qualley, I put her in everything. Zoe Deutsch, I put her in everything. Haley Lou Richardson, I put her in everything.
I was gonna say Haley Lou.
Yep, it's the same ones. I also picked Zazie Beetz because Bates is actually how you pronounce her name. I think she's great, and I think she could play that type of Sandra Bullock character given the chance, and I just don't feel like she's been given that kind of like rom-com thing. Now on to my Peters. Henry Golding.
Yes.
And this is a specific one. Glenn Powell, I think, would be a good Peter. Just a Peter.
Yes.
I don't want to see him as a Jack. He's a Peter. But in this other movie, so I've cast these. Okay, sorry. I should have done this first. If Henry Golding is my Peter, then Manny Jacinto, who plays Jason from The Good Place, always got to give a Good Place mention. Manny Jacinto is my Jack.
Okay.
If Regé Jean Page from
Ooh,
is my Peter.
love that.
Winston Duke is my Jack. Winston
Okay.
Duke is Black Panther. He's in Black Panther. He's in Us. I love him. Fantastic.
Hmm.
If Glenn Powell is my Peter, Wyatt Russell is my Jack.
Okay, I like
Do you know
all
who?
those pairings.
Yeah. So
That's good. That was something I wanted to ask. Like, if we did a 2025 recast, I was trying to find brothers, and the only ones I could think of were the Hemsworths and the Francos. And I didn't like either of those. So,
yeah,
but
with the Francos, you have a problem,
yeah,
and
I do
uh,
love the young Franco though.
Dave Franco's pretty great.
But then the Hemsworths, I don't like Liam. But and you would have and like Chris, but I thought Chris Hemsworth would have been a funny Peter.
Yeah.
But I was like, then you have to have Liam and I was like, he's not my pick for Jack.
Yeah, that sucks.
I have another proposal because when I read that the genders were swapped, I also think it might be fun for this to be a queer movie.
Mhm.
So specifically, like keep the Lucy and the Peter characters the same gender, but make Jack a woman. I think that would be, or non-binary person. I kind of think that would be fun to make it 2025-ish.
I
I
like
didn't have
that.
a person in mind, but I was like, I wonder, that would be an interesting like dynamic change.
Mhm.
Especially it would throw the family through a fucking loop. So I was like, I thought that would be a funny addition to if it was made in 2025.
I like that. I wish I would have tried to do that and try to figure that out.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about like just gender swapping everybody, and then I was like, no,
It's predatory.
It's predatory.
Double standards. Oh well, it's right. Okay, so let's move on to our fun facts. We've already had a couple that have been put in the chat. We've already talked about a couple. What are some fun facts that you found that you really liked?
Yes, I had. Oh, I've already said that the original screenplay was about a woman in a coma, and the script was rewritten. So that's how it got picked up because they were like, "That's predatory." And then the chat mentioned that in a transition scene, a paperboy is shown slipping off his bike. That was actually an accident, and they decided to keep it in the movie. That poor boy broke his wrist in real life.
It's very funny though. Like,
oh, hilarious!
We both laughed really hard.
That was a laugh out loud. Yes.
It's
There's
funny.
also a guy who fell in the beginning too.
Yeah, fell on the ice
yes,
skating.
Mm-hmm.
There was a fun fact on IMDb that was like everybody's falling in this movie, like falling in love, and
we've
even got a paper.
I wrote that down.
Yeah, I thought that I almost put it down. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it said falling is a theme throughout the movie. Besides falling in love, there's numerous physical examples, and I was like, you know what? There is an over amount of falling. I do agree that I'm like, it has to, if it's too much for it not to be a theme, because the Christmas tree falls through the window, the ice skater falls during the opening titles, the paperboy falls off his bike, Peter falls onto the tracks, Lucy and Jack fall on the icy sidewalk, Jack faints and falls after giving blood, a nurse faints and falls on the floor, Ashley slips and almost falls after getting off an elevator. There's
a lot of falling in this movie.
Yes.
Just call it Alicia Keys' movie. The role of Lucy was written for Demi Moore.
That's fun. I can see Demi Moore in it.
Is she as spacey as Sandra Bullock can be? I feel like I'm being rude when I call her spacey, but like,
well, that I don't know. I mean, it's not spacey, but I do think it's kind of spineless, or just like just being like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Not so much spacey, but I think Demi Moore can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Sandra Bullock took the role, saying she could relate to it. She had just broken up from a 4-year relationship, so
there you go.
Whatever that means. What else you got? Sorry.
I've got the Christmas gift that Lucy gets is a sweater.
Oh,
it's a sweater to go along with her massive sweater collection, which I was like, I want every sweater. I love an oversized sweater.
Did you see the facts about the sweaters and why?
I didn't know if that was true or not.
I don't know if it was true either, but I feel like the writer or somebody said it on the fact that basically it was like all her dad's sweaters.
Yeah, because she wears her dad's jacket. Her winter coat is her father's coat, so it could be assumed that the sweaters that she wears that are oversized are also her father's.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I want every sweater.
Yeah, we'll get there. What else you got?
I only got one more because we've talked about quite a few of them. In the wedding scene in the hospital, the organist is longtime. I think her name's Comiskey Park, home of the Chicago White Sox. Oh no, sorry. Comiskey Park is the home of the Chicago White Sox. The organist's name is Nancy Faust.
And she was the organist from the
ballpark. Yes.
Yeah.
She's the ballpark's organist, and she's the organist in this movie, which I thought was like, that's pretty. So again, Chicago, very Chicago, and very fun.
Very cool. The last thing I said I had, and I don't know if we'll go with it. Images of the world and Sleeping Beauty recur in the film. The young version of Lucy in the beginning is being read Sleeping Beauty by her father. The film is a role reversal of Sleeping Beauty. Peter's the beauty and Lucy's the prince. Lucy has a globe in her apartment visible after talking to Jack. And of course, the gift of her mother to her father, the light up globe lamp recurs as well. So worlds and Sleeping Beauties all over the place.
Yes.
So that's it. Like a Fine Wine and Dish, if you could pair this movie with another movie for a double feature, what would you choose?
So I got a couple, and one that you and I probably have the same of is The Proposal. Sandra Bullock having to sham her way through an engagement. I love The Proposal. That is one of my favorites. It is so funny. I think everybody in that movie is great. If you've never seen it, I do highly recommend it. It is more calm than rom, and it's one of my favorites. But yeah, another Sandra Bullock shamming her way through an engagement.
You get to see Betty White singing some Lil Jon in there.
To the window, to the wall, to the wall.
What else you got?
I also have it is a TV series based on a book, The Summer I Turned Pretty. And it is about a girl falling in love with two brothers. So they're both conscious, but it's a little high school romance. I think it's a series on Amazon now, but yeah, it was a book originally, but The Summer I Turned Pretty. And the final one I have is The Vow, which is Channing Tatum and Rachel McAdams. Which is also based on a real life story where a couple is in love and they're engaged, I believe, get into a nasty car accident where the wife, so it is a little gender swap, the woman gets knocked out into a coma, wakes up, and actually does have amnesia, does not remember basically the last 5 years of her life, which is the duration that she had met her fiance. She remembers her ex-boyfriend, who he's still kind of involved in a weird way. But basically, in what happens in real life and what happens in the movie is that these two had to re-fall in love with one another.
Adorable.
Yes. So it's kind of Nicholas Sparks-esque, even though it is like a real life story. There is a book, I believe, based, again, The Vow. But yeah, what happens when an actual couple, one of them gets into a coma and actually wakes up with amnesia, what happens? So I picked The Vow.
Nice. Anything else?
No, those are my three.
So I had The Proposal written down as well. My big fat Greek wedding.
You
the
did
family
have My Big Fat
aspect.
Greek...
I did. I wrote that one down.
That is one of my favorite movies. I should have shown that to you and been like, this is what my family is. I just need you to know this is what you're getting yourself into. But it's so good. So funny.
And then the last one I had, I don't know if you've seen this movie, is called The Family Stone.
I have seen this movie.
Especially with like the different characters falling in love with different brothers. Because it's sisters falling in love with two different people, or sisters falling in love with each other's boyfriends.
Yes.
Obviously,
and the Christmas element.
Yes, Christmas element, and it also has like a little bit of like a tragic element to it as well. It is a cry movie, so it's like a rom-com.
Yes.
is what it
Drama.
is. Yeah. A drama, rama, tram. Yeah.
A
All those
dramedy?
things. A dramedy.
Shamalama ding
Absolutely.
dong?
A drama, a drom-com.
A trom-com. Okay.
Drom-com. Drom-com.
We got there.
So we got there. We did get there. So yeah, that was the one. Especially like the sisters falling in love with the two different guys. Yeah. Luke Wilson. We haven't talked about him, but
I love
he would have been
Luke
Luke Wilson would have been a great Peter, or not Peter, Jack.
Mhm.
Owen
Yes.
Wilson could be the brother.
Yes. I
There we
love the
go.
Wilsons. Luke does not get enough love. I miss him.
I love Luke Wilson. We are in agreement there. We
Yes.
stand.
I mean, Owen's great too, but like
yeah.
Luke should have done more.
Yes, I agree. I want him
My
in
fa-
everything.
I know the Royal Tenenbaums is incredible. But also Legally Blonde.
Yes. Legally
He's
Blonde.
perfect in Legally Blonde.
Home Fries with Drew Barrymore. Not a lot of people have seen that movie,
I've not
but
seen that.
that's a throwback. All right. On a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to rewatch this movie?
5. I'd rewatch it again.
Yeah, I gave it a pretty high. I gave it a 4.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well be a 5. I'd rewatch this. This is cute.
Yeah. It's very
good-
cute. I enjoy, and like we've talked about this a lot, where I sometimes have a hard time watching old rom-coms, specifically romance movies, because I'm like, this is gonna age poorly, or there's some type of damsel in distress element that's just so tired, that was so prevalent in the 80s specifically, not
Mhm.
necessarily the 90s. I was pleasantly surprised. I had a great time. I never felt that anybody was being, I mean, obviously the entire plot is being bamboozled, but I genuinely felt like the characters had chemistry, that they liked each other, that as insane as the plot was, everything made sense. I was here for it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I gave it a 4. Okay, so in that, knowing that you want to rewatch, what do you give it out of 5 stars overall?
I'd give it a 4.
4. Nice.
Yes,
I gave it a 3.5. So
nice. I liked it a lot. I definitely want to watch it again. I don't know if it'll become like a staple, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
it's a great time. Great time had by all. Well, that's it. Big thank you to our guest, Alyssa. Before we wrap up, have you watched anything, read anything, listened to anything recently that you would recommend to your fans or your
My
friends?
fans.
All your fans.
All my fans. Not particularly, honestly. We have been watching a lot of Nate Bargatze. I'm pretty sure I mentioned him last time I was on, but I've watched another special since being on 2 weeks ago. So I think he is very hilarious. If you want to watch some Nate Bargatze, highly recommend.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished a book that I'm not that that if anyone has a person in their life who likes to read romance books, and who enjoy a fantasy element, I read a book. What's it? A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. It was cute. I enjoyed the hell out of it. So I don't think anybody listening right now is interested, but if you might have a partner who's interested. So there you go. Highly recommend that for the reading ladies in your life. But that's all I got. I really don't have too many recommendations. I've kind of not been on the ball of watching things.
No, I get it. Yeah, the only thing that I have watched besides these 95 movies are I was able to get in a movie called Goodbye Lenin, which is a German movie from like early 2000s, I think 2002 or 2003. Really enjoyed the heck out of this movie. It's been on my watch list for a while, but it is about a family, a mother and her 2 children, a son and a daughter, and they are raised in East Germany, which in the 80s, 70s, 80s was communist. It was on, Russia and the USSR occupied that. And so she's raising her children in the communist ways. Well, she slips into a coma, relatable to what we're talking about. And during her coma, the Berlin Wall falls down and Germany is unified. And as she comes out of the coma, the doctor says if she, gets any kind of like big excitement, she could, pass away. So instead of giving her the truth, her son, or orchestrates that the Berlin Wall didn't fall down and that communism is just as strong as ever. And he does all this stuff for his mother, whom he loves very, very much. It's very sweet. It's funny. It's tragic.
It's giving 50 First Dates.
Yes, it is. It
Like
is very
how
50
the-
First Dates.
How the dad has to undo the paint in his house every day for Drew Barrymore.
It's not quite on the comedy level of like a Jojo Rabbit is, with a very serious top. And then obviously like Nazis is, something completely different to like communism and Russian,
Right.
Communist Russia and all that stuff. But I did find it very sweet and very endearing, especially about a boy who loves his mother very, very much, and would do anything to keep her alive and comfortable. It's super sweet German film. Everybody should check it out. And if you want to see other movie recommendations, we actually have a channel in our Discord that talks about movie recommendations. There are other channels in there as well. So join us on our Discord server. There's an app on your phone or your computer that you can do. Trying to build that up and get some more people in there. And we do have some good conversations in there. One of our favorites, Spencer, likes to, put some memes and stuff in there and give us some thoughtful questions from time to time for us to think about. So check that out. You are always welcome to follow us on Instagram. That's where I announce a lot of the streams, and maybe there's a date change or anything like that. Discord, today we went a little bit later than normal. I announced that over in our Discord server. So do check that out. Also, you can follow me on my letterbox. It is CD Waits. If you want to check out this and the lists of movies, all those links are available in the bio of Twitch. So, Sunday, February 23rd, we will finish out our theme. You love me, you really love me. We're all these romantic movies. So next Sunday, we are going to be talking about the movie The American President. I believe it is streaming on video on demand right now. So you can rent it if you already own it. Like I have it on VHS. You can watch it on VHS if you want, or DVD or whatever you want. But I do not think it is on any streaming services currently. Continuing with my housekeeping items, I'm very sorry to keep everybody here. This month for extra credit, we're doing Spencer's super sweet month of movies. He just had a birthday. I don't know how old he is, 33, maybe 34. But we're doing one super sweet month of movies just for him because we love him so much. And we're doing movies like House Guest, Man of the House, Bushwhacked, and Tom and Huck. And we're going to be discussing those all on Wednesday, February 26th. So not this coming week, next week. So you get to watching those. A lot of those are on Disney Plus. You can check those out. House Guest, we did have to rent that one. Had a great time with House Guest.
It was fun.
He loves a Pittsburgh movie. I think that's why he picked it. Also, we have our 52/1995 music pod that Alyssa hosts, and I am her guest on there usually. If anybody wants to, sub in, I'm sure she would be more than happy to go over that format with you. But join us tomorrow for that. We're going to do that tomorrow live at 6 p.m. This week's album is John Michael Montgomery's self-titled album. It is country month over there. We have a lot of love songs by these cowboys. So that's why we're doing that. We're doing a lot of yeehawing and hot dog. So much. Finally, just wanted to tell you all about another podcast that had also reached out to me recently. A lot of similar vibes of our own, and I believe that I'll probably be a guest on their podcast in the future. It is strictly mostly about video games. They do go off on some tangents every once in a while, but it is called Video Game Happy Hour. They stream here on Twitch as well. I think they are in our Discord server. A couple of the guys are in our Discord server as well. But if you're interested in video games of today and were a 90s kid, like many of the people in my audience are, then you might like their vibe. Check it out, videogamehappyhour.com. They also have a Discord community that they're trying to grow over there as well. So if you're interested, give them a follow, give them a listen, maybe join their Discord if video games are your preference. But that's it. That's all I've got. You got anything else?
No.
Then let's get the heck out of here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. It does mean a lot to me. And we'll see you next time here on 52/1995.